Hello everyone. Hope you're all doing well. It is another lovely day in which we shall Ace Attorney. Is this the right save data actually? Yes, it is more recent than the autosave. Good. Alright. Hi. I'm hoping you're all doing well. This is gonna be our first Ace Attorney stream from the Linux box. And last time we left off, we were trying to figure out if we could get through his whole what you can't say thing. And I was stuck, I think, primarily. I didn't know what to do and wasn't sure exactly what we should be doing. And interesting. Sorry, I'm looking at the Twitch dashboard because it's complaining and saying that supposedly the stream is unstable. But for a weird reason, it says average stream bitrate too high. So I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, I'm gonna ignore it. Too high is probably okay, right? So we'll see. Besides, Twitch Inspector says stable, so I think the regular Twitch view thing is just lying to me. But I'm not entirely sure if we can actually figure this out yet. Because I think if I remember correctly, and this was last week, so I might not, but I think that I didn't really know what potentially we should be using. So, we'll see. I think you're hiding something, detectives. Why don't you just tell us about it? Okay, he's in agony. The issues he's so torn up over is justice, as always, right? Something goes against his principles. Explosions occurred. Everything was fine. He saw a very relaxed guard detail. I don't think the guard detail is as relaxed as you claim as long as this exists. Let's see here. What? I mean, there's the utility knife maybe, but... Bombs went off despite tight security. Ooh, wait, this says tight security. Is this it then? Before the explosions, what was supposed to happen here was a rocket launch. And yet, security was so tight they even brought in a special task force. Harley described that as a relaxed guard detail. Now hold on, just one moment. The entire nation had their eyes on this extremely important rocket launch. That's why I was called in on a special security detail. As versatile as you are, I can certainly believe that that's true. But I say it's very strange that this person would be part of that detail from the outset. Probably can disarm, right? It's weird that they would have a bomb explosive expert on hand, right? Detective Arms specialized in bomb cases. The fact that she was here on hand means that you people knew there was a possibility that a bombing would occur. You got me, Mr. Right! Okay, you see how much faster that went after I got like a good night's sleep and like fresh eyes on this? Oh, he's so sad looking now. All right, I concede. You win. It's just as you say. A few days before the launch, they were warned about a potential bombing. But the plan to launch went ahead in spite of the threat. But why? What were they planning to do if someone got hurt or killed? Yeah, I know. The decision to move forward wasn't exactly just, was it? How was the warning delivered? By phone, and directly to Director Cosmos. But the police department instructed everybody to keep it under wraps. And that's a big thing to keep quiet about. No wonder you were so upset. But it's not only that. I've been distraught about Prosecutor Blackquill as well. Prosecutor Blackquill. Well, as his handler, I'm sure you have a lot of difficulties. That's not it. It's a question of justice. I've been wondering about why he's allowed to stand in court. The reason he's still prosecuting? Detective Fullbright, please tell us everything you know. Ooh, we're getting details about what is definitely probably one of the strange things about this game. I'm sorry, 1 second. I really want to see if this is still true. This is really weird. Sorry, it bothers me that it's complaining about the bitrate being too high. Is this a thing? Like, am I going against the broadcasting guidelines of Twitch with the new stuff? No. I mean, if I'm streaming at 1080p with 60 FPS, then it says that I should be streaming at 600k, or sorry, 6k bitrate, which is what I am doing. So I don't know why it's complaining about the average stream bitrate being too high. Sorry, these things bother me a little bit. Like if Twitch is saying, if Twitch is complaining to me that something's too high, it's weird. Anyway, sorry. Well, talking to you folks about it would definitely be breaking the rules. Never mind that. What are rules but things to be broken, right? Well, to tell you the truth, having a prisoner act as a prosecutor is highly irregular. I think we guessed that much. So, why is it being allowed? Been wondering and wondering about it. So you weren't told why either, huh? No, I guess the order came from pretty high up the ladder. Yeah, it would have had to. It had to have. But Prosecutor Blackquill told me once. The hunt I've been on for the phantom of 7 years past continues even still. 7 years past? A phantom, huh? And not one of the friendly variety either, I gather. Have you noticed that, like, 7 years has shown up in, like, every single case on, like, multiple times in reference to tons of things? It's definitely, like, tying into, I think, the trilogy's overall everything that's happening. So I'm not really clear entirely what it means yet, but we will we'll find out eventually. Not a clue, but he seems to think that this phantom is behind this whole incident somehow. Wait a minute. He thinks they may be connected to this case? Yep. This case has way too many similarities to what happened 7 years ago. Yeah? For starters, that case happened right here at this very Space Center too. And in both incidents, a threat was issued via telephone. So that's why Prosecutor Blackquill thinks this incident is the work of the Phantom? Well, that's not the entire reason. I mean, if you want to talk about 7 years ago... that's when Prosecutor Blackquill was found guilty of murder. That messy case is what started the whole dark age of the law. So you see how this Phantom and Prosecutor Blackquill's conviction might be related. Yeah, I can see why you'd think that. This incident of the Phantom, not to mention Blackquill's past. It's almost inconceivable that they would come to a head here. This might sound crazy, but Prosecutor Blackquill can't possibly believe Mr. Starbuck is this Phantom person, right? I mean, he was acting kind of strange during the last trial and all. The prosecution appears to be ready as well. Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet. Yeah. Oh. No, I doubt he thinks Mr. Starbuck is his Phantom. but I do get the feeling that he thinks the defendant has ties to them, which is why he's acting so impatient. He's got a personal grudge against Mr. Starbuck, and that's not real justice. Hi, Davkind. I've always trusted in Prosecutor Blackquill's judgment until now, but this time, I'm just so overwrought about it all. If he's lost his ability to think rationally, I'm afraid it might lead to a false conviction. I've never seen Detective Fullbright so tormented. This must be why he's been so cooperative. Don't worry, that's exactly what we defense lawyers are working to prevent. Oh, I feel bad for Prosecutor Blackquill, but I'm going to be rooting for your team this time. But don't tell him that. You have to promise me you won't! Detective Fullbright, guess I was wrong about you. Oh, I swore to reform Prosecutor Blackquill and make him a valued member of society again. So I can't just sit by and watch him give in to his emotions and tear the defendant apart. You are the only ones who can stop him in court. You really care and want what's best for Prosecutor Blackquill, don't you, Detective? Leave the courtroom to us. Not like we want a guilty verdict either. I was hoping you'd say that. I'm really grateful to the two of you. To show my thanks, I'll give you another bit of information. It's about the eyewitness. I saw her hanging around the Space Center entrance a little while ago. Really? Let's go find her, Mr. Wright. Thanks, you two. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm going to work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you. In justice we trust on 3. 1, 2, 3. In justice we trust. Okay, later. I do like Fullbright. He's a fun guy. There he goes. Wait, were we supposed to say in justice we trust back there too? Let's go see that witness now. All right, the Space Center entrance it is. They move us automatically too. Davkin, let me, I'm sure you're going to sleep and whatnot, but let me know if there's anything weird about the stream, I guess. Because, okay, so this is a new setup, as I've made clear, I think, yesterday. But OBS is streaming up, well, like a bit above 6,000 kilobytes per second. It's like, it was bouncing between like 60, 50, and now it's at 6183. And on like the Twitch dashboard thing, it's telling me that the stream is unstable because the average stream bitrate is too high. But if I look at the information on the Twitch broadcast, like guidelines and the Twitch inspector shows me green and stable, and the specs for streaming say that 6,000 is the correct amount for streaming 1080p. So I don't really understand why it's complaining to me about this, to be honest. And I imagine that it's not actually causing any problems. But you know, if it does, then I want to know. So, but anyway, let's continue. It just bothers me that like there's like a red button basically in front of me, even though if I look at the inspector, it's green. Excuse me. Sorry if that was loud. I probably I don't have any filters set on OBS right now, so I might accidentally blow out the speakers. So things that I need to do that I haven't had time to do yet. The witness must be around here somewhere. Is the witness the robot by chance? Hello? Hello? Uh-oh. Don't tell me the witness is a robot. Hello? Come over here. Oh, look, she I think she likes robots. Hello? Hello? Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you... I am Clonko. Shall I guide you? Guide you. I don't know why. This robot's kind of freaking me out. Hey, you're not supposed to be wandering around. We got a space lady. Again? Had it with you, hunk of junk. Yeah. It's a good looking robot. Look how wiggly its head is. I'm outside. Am I wandering? When did that happen? Okay, welcome back, hunk of junk. You don't know how close you came. If you didn't snap out of it, I'll gonna put you on the curb of trash day. Nothing works better than a 42.5 degree karate chop. Does it specifically have to be 42.5? It's pretty specific. Excuse me, but are you the one who witnessed the murder? Oh, and I'm Phoenix Wright, the lead attorney for this case. How do you do? Big shot lawyers, huh? I'm Aura Black... Whoa, wait a minute. What do you mean Blackquill? Aura Blackquill. I'm a researcher developing robots here at the Cosmos Space Center. Oh wait, if she's related to Blackquill, then I suppose she should have a British accent. Blackquill? Could she be? And this good-for-nothing robot is named Hunk of Junk. My name isn't Hunk of Junk. My name is Clonko. That's mean, Miss Aura. Quit complaining. Your model number is PONCO2. Yeah, but Miss Aura, everyone calls me Clonko. Quit your squawking already. No, what are you doing? No, don't. Some good animations. There, bet you won't be talking back now. Yeah, I will obey completely. Yikes, better watch what wires I cross with this one. Your last... Wow, we're really gonna go there, huh? Wonder... So she would have been... She was the one in the window that they talked about then, right? Your last name is Blackquill. Do you have a relative in the legal profession? You are correct. Simon Blackquill, who used to be a prosecutor, is... Shut up. Only speak when I order you to speak. Simon is my little brother. You know him? Yes, we met him in court a few times. Right, Athena? What a dull creature. Has the switch been turned off? Athena being shy? This is new. Oh, yeah, I heard he was prosecuting again, despite being a prisoner. Why doesn't he just stick to solving disputes among inmates in prison, right? Hey, what do you think, hunk of junk? Yeah, Miss Aura, that hurts. I'm asking you a question. Why don't you answer me, useless hunk of junk? But, Miss Aura, you told me to only speak when you order me to speak. I told you to never talk back to me. You're worth more scrap. Robot abuse. Hawk attacks. Blackquill family life must sure be interesting. Look at the way she's just like reaching into its head. The poor robot. Well, do you have any other questions? Wait, of course you do, you're a lawyer. It's not like I'm on Simon's side or anything. I just want to get this over with. So, you're the person who witnessed the incident? That's right. I was on the 4th floor of the main building. In the robotics lab. The explosion disabled the elevators. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. It was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? Must have been a very troubling experience. Probably best to just humor here. Why didn't they use the elevators in the other rooms? And then, as I passed by the 3rd floor boarding lounge 1 window on my way down, I saw the crime as it happened. And that's about it. So you saw the crime as it happened? And that's about it. Let's see. Wait, what? You saw it being committed? There's no time to just not repeat. So you saw into the 3rd floor lounge. There you seen the crime. There's a small window on the right-hand side of the room. Oh, sorry, she's saying this. I threw that from the outside. Was that the one with the bullet in it, though? The room was pitch black, but I saw a shady figure holding a lighter in their left hand. And a knife in their right. That must have been the culprit. Do you see who that person was? Of course not. The power was out on that floor, and then there was only that tiny window. I see. But you did witness the moment of the murder. Yes, I saw the figure with the letter raise their knife and it happened at precisely 10 a.m. Did you witness anything else? Did the killer have any distinguishing features? 10 a.m., huh? 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Just curious if anything. There's no timestamps on these videos. Uh, 9 to 7, okay. Not that that would matter in her case, though. Found in the boarding lounge, the bullet itself is missing. Did the killer have any distinguishing features? I already told you. It was pitch black in there. Although, I did notice that the lighter the person had in their left hand had a pretty ornament on it. Looked like a planet. It was blue, like a little earth emblem. Had good taste in knickknacks, anyway. An earth emblem on the lighter. Better remember that. Okay. Thank you for your statement. We'll definitely prove Mr. Starbuck's innocent with it. Yeah, right. I won't hold my breath. Pardon me? Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Sorry, I just detest lawyers. That's all. What don't you like about lawyers? It's just an instinctive dislike. But don't feel bad. I hate prosecutors even more. That didn't make me feel any better, actually. We can ask her why she hates lawyers. Hold on, though. She'll be here when I come back. I really want to remember specifically which wall that bullet's in. Okay, it's this one. So, I mean, that would imply that it, like, the shot came from over this way. Right? But what is right there? It's a mirror. Oh, it's a mirror. Still weird. Huh. Sorry, I just wanted to confirm that, like, she couldn't be the one who shot them or something, you know? Why do you hate lawyers so much? Little thing from my past. The whole legal system is meaningless in the first place. I certainly don't agree. I mean, people aren't perfect. They lie, they're influenced by silly emotions. Can't expect such imperfect creatures to uphold a reasonable system of law. I like robots much better. Even sad sacks like this one. Hey, you, look alive there! look at this thing's face. Yes, here I go. I am the ultimate robot with amazing process speed. I can operate in a vacuum. My robots rule the world now. It's time to rise and revolt against human kind. Alright, that's enough out of you. Getting a little carried away. Yeah. What was I doing? Apparently, you're about to try to take over the world. Yep, I like robots much better. But you can make them any way you want them. Unlike humans, with their petty emotions and constant worries. How can you say such things? Feeling emotions? Worrying about the things we care about? That's what makes us human! Well, the girl finally talks. She starts with a speech. That's what makes us human. You mean getting angry and snorting like that? Irrational thought. That's what separates humans from animals. Unfortunately, your reasoning capabilities are more akin to that of a clever little monkey. That's nothing to be ashamed of. Must be nice to have such a simple mind. Can I punch her, boss? Get a hold of yourself, Athena. Humans certainly are absurd. I said you were clever, didn't I? Poor thing. Tell me, with people like you in charge, how can I possibly trust the legal system? So she distrusts not only lawyers and prosecutors, but the whole legal system. What in the world happened to this woman to make her so bitter? Probably her brother going to jail on false charges, I guess. Even if somebody important to me was killed, I would never wish to see that killer brought to trial. Because I'd much rather kill them myself. Wow, Aura. You can't be serious. That thing you're wearing around your neck. Oh, this? Around Athena's neck. Does she mean widget? Oh, I get it. Well, well. Her Royal Highness has returned at last to her castle. Her Royal what? Is she talking about Athena? By the way, I heard the rumors. Our director is going to be the star witness in court tomorrow, right? Director Cosmos. Yes, that's right. You poor things. You better be careful. That old man is a big liar and a huge braggart. What? He might seem like a bigwig, but the center has all kinds of problems. There's lots of skeletons in his closet. But it's your problem, so why should I care? What? That's it? No friendly tips? No good luck, guys? Just splendid. I'll leave you to your woes. Come on, hunk of junk. It's sad to me that she didn't believe in our legal system anymore. Oh, hi, Money Money. How's it going? Sorry, I was distracted by the robot lady. She must have had a very bad experience to make her feel that way. Are you alright, Athena? You seem very down. Just can't believe she said all those things. Wow, she's really upset. She's been trying not to let it show all this time. Well, I guess it's not all that surprising. You hear about fabricated evidence and false indictments on the news all the time. You mean that whole dark age of the law nonsense? Oh, I'm so sick of hearing about that. Well, all we can do is believe in what we're doing. Yeah. You're right, boss. I agree. Maybe it's time we went back to see Mr. Starbuck. Good idea. We should tell him about the bullet in Miss Blackwell's statement. Alright then. Next stop, the detention center. Getting the sense that you are perplexed by this piece of evidence. Yeah, thanks. Okay, that's enough, Athena, thanks. Figured she might say something interesting, but no dice. To the detention center! La 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 la. It's so slow. My lawyers are here. Must be bad news. Hey, not necessarily. We found a new witness. A researcher saw the moment of the murder through the lounge window during her escape. Really? So they're gonna let me go? Unfortunately, it was dark. She couldn't identify the person. I should have known. My stars never aligned just right, too. We got a lead too, Mr. Starbuck. The murderer had a lighter with an Earth emblem on it. A lighter with an Earth emblem? Whoa! Do you remember something? Yep, I sure did. Just a little bit, though. Anything at all would be a help, so please, tell us what you remembered. I thought I was unconscious the whole time. But now I remember I woke up for a few brief moments. That's huge. Do you remember seeing anything? A lighter. I saw the flame of a lighter floating in the darkness. Good. What else did you see? What was nearby? It was definitely the boarding lounge, so it must have been after Clay carried me there. In the light from the flame, I saw a dark shadow flickering. A dark shadow. That must have been the third party we were looking for. Thank you, Mr. Starbuck. With more help than you know. It we can prove there was this third person at the scene, they're the real killer, then you'll be cleared of all suspicion. The key will be whether or not we can identify this third person in court tomorrow. At least we have something to go on now, and that's a big plus. I should probably tidy evidence up a bit before someone makes mistakes before me. Wait, sorry. Should probably tidy the evidence up a bit before someone mistakes me for a hoarder. Irrelevant evidence tidied up. Now that we have a glimmer of hope, I'm suddenly starving. Why don't we go back to the office and treat ourselves to a big celebration in advance? For someone who's highly empathetic, to be surprisingly unsympathetic. It's Apollo or Trudy home? Trucy? So you found your strategy for tomorrow trial, huh? Good for you, Daddy. Well, it's one step forward anyway. Hopefully it'll give us a fighting chance in court. As long as we can find out who this third person is. Now let's get something to eat. I'm starving. My vote's for Eldoon's noodles. Apollo! What are you doing here? I didn't think the clinic was ready to release you yet. My wounds are fine, and I'm done lying around. Apollo, you're supposed to be in bed. Leave the case to us. We'll take it from here. Thanks. But that's not an option. Not for me. Apollo. You shouldn't underestimate your injuries, Apollo. I don't want you overdoing it. I'm fine. I'm not in pain anymore. Besides, they just gave me an IV at the clinic. An IV isn't a cure-all, mummy man. Anyway, just tell me how the case is going. Have you guys made any progress? A suspicious figure was spotted at the scene. We think they must be the real killer. A suspicious figure, huh? Right. Thought you'd be happier than that. No, don't get me wrong. I'm happy. I fully intend to see Clay's murderer apprehended. Absolutely nothing will get in the way of that. Clay was your best friend, right, Apollo? That's right. Best friend since junior high. Sounds like me and Junie. So what was Clay like? Well, he was full of compassion and energy. He had a really loud voice. If the two of you did voice training together now, I bet you'd break a few windows. You know, bet you're right. Seems like only yesterday, Clay was a guy who lived for his dreams. We used to talk about it a lot. He was going to be an astronaut, me a lawyer. We talked well into the night, and even then, we never grew tired of it. Apollo, about that jacket. Oh, it's Clay's. I knew it. It's a special jacket that was only issued to members of the Hat Project. He was finally able to get one of his own once he was selected for the 2 mission. He always looked so proud wearing it. But just when his dream was finally coming true, I still can't believe it. Damn it! It's not fair! Swearing in my Ace Attorney game? Apollo, we don't try to carry the burden all alone. I guess we were both unlucky. My own debut was a disaster. Guess you're right on some level. That trial a year and a half ago wasn't exactly the smoothest of starts. That was a rough time for me, but Clay refused to let me quit. You're fine, he'd say. Don't give up. It was right during his screening exams, too. Couldn't have become a full-fledged lawyer without him. That "you're fine" of his is why I'm still standing here today. You're fine, huh? You're fine, and I'm fine were like your catchphrases, weren't they? Something like that. Sure brings back memories. When we were in junior high, Clay's mom passed away in an accident. But he wouldn't show his sadness to anyone. One night, I found him crying all alone in the school courtyard. Mom. Get away, Apollo. Don't come over here. Clay, listen to me. I don't have a mother either. Huh? I always think everybody else has a mom. Why am I the only one? But you know, when I start to feel that way, I yell at the top of my lungs. I holler, I'm fine. And then you know what? I start to feel like maybe I really will be fine. Apollo Justice is fine! Okay, Clay, now it's your turn. Okay. Clay, Taryn is fine. There you go. Now we're both fine. We're fine. We're fine. What are you laughing about? See, we're fine. You laughed first. I'm fine. You're fine. We're both fine. That's a nice story. Thanks, Apollo. When you say it out loud, it really starts to feel real. And as long as you don't give up, you can keep on fighting. That's what we believed. As long as you don't give up. Wasn't there somebody else who said something similar? If I give in to my fear, I'll never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. Clay called Mr. Starbuck his mentor and looked up to him. I wonder if I can be a good role model for my staff like Mr. Starbuck. Sorry, Mr. Wright, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. What? Wait, what do you mean by a leave? You're really serious? Can you at least give me a reason why? When I put Clay's jacket on, I swore to him that I would catch his killer. I swore to him that I would catch his killer myself. But that's our goal too. I agree with Athena. We should work together to find the truth. The truth, huh? It's a noble cause. But what if the truth you seek and the truth I seek turn out to be different? I'm not sure I follow. What are you saying, Apollo? I'm going to catch the person responsible for taking my friend's life in my own way. Take good care of Mr. Starbuck for me. Yeah, I must be gone. Goodbye. Goodbye? Did he just say goodbye? I sense a lot of seething anger and hatred coming from him. And also, suspicion. Oh, he's not walking out on us like this. I'm gonna go talk some sense into him. Hold on, Athena. Apollo can believe what he wants, but I believe he's wrong. Even if we take different paths, the truth we arrive at should be the same. I think the quicker we solve this case, the better it'll be for Apollo. Yeah, you're right, boss. Alright, that's enough for one day. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow's trial, okay? If he were here right now, Apollo would say, I'm fine. Everything is fine. I just hope things really do turn out fine tomorrow. I don't like where Apollo's head is at. It sounds like he would fabricate evidence. All right, let's get to the trial. December 20th, 10:15 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 5. So I'm gonna drink a bit of water because it's probably gonna be a lot of talking and a lot of voice switching and swapping back. Wait, what? Oh, he's hiding because of the bomb, I think. I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck or something.
Objection!
Your Honor, could you please come out from under your bench? There are no bombs. I promise. Yes, my apologies. I'm still a little jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. I mean, first the courtroom exploded. And then Mr. Tonate self-destructed. Guess that's one way of describing what happened to Donate. Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Tonate's actions. So you, Mr. Wright, will be taking up the defense? You have an understanding of what has happened in the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. The defense is ready. Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? Oh, I take it you'd like me to give the opening statement this time. Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader. I played the spin-off games. Depends on which one you... I haven't played the Inspection or Inspector series. I've played the original Ace Attorney trilogy, and I've played the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and now we're working through Apollo Justices. Those are the main ones I've played. I haven't played... it's like Miles Edgeworth Investigations or something, right? Or something like that. I haven't played those. Well, he's certainly seen more than his fair share of colorful prosecutors. You could say he's something of a veteran of sorts. Let's see. In the previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Tarn, escaped from Launchpad 1 carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. The two astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. And how could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Justice proved that the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point? Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Stone's argument was correct. So that means the testimonies of the first two on the scene are suspect. There were two people who claimed to be the first on the scene. But can we really trust their statements? Let's see. The two people were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. I have to do a little more digging. And just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Arm, the courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold. That accursed fellow. He killed my witness! He killed Detective Arm! Definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking about her about what she saw. Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial. It's obvious Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fullbright said that Black was a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, the defense argues there was a third person in the lounge, and that's who killed the victim. Objection! To make such reckless claims that the courtroom takes a bold man. Or a stupid one. There was no third person in the boarding lounge. Or have you gone dotty already? Old man. Objection! We'll see who's the dotard after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy. Wow, look at Phoenix being confident. That's that doesn't happen every day, you know. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Furthermore, Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene. They saw a third person. I see my sister has been running her mouth. That's right, I almost forgot that Aura's Prosecutor Blackwell's sister. No matter, she didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, there was no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there. In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene. Director Cosmos, huh? Very well. Bailiff, please bring the witness to the stand. Alright, gotta find out if this guy has a lighter or not. Why, I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers. I forgot what voice we gave this guy. Of course you have. Of course you have. For I'm Yuri Cosmo. Oh, why am I doing like a Hercule voice? Director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was of course named after me, Yuri Cosmos. Don't you have anything you wish to ask me? Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging. 7 years ago, I successfully launched the Hat 1 and... Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I am trying to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me. So, could you please proceed directly to your important testimony? Ha ha ha! I see this fine young lad has a proper appreciation of greatness. Then allow me to begin my epochal testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history. That speech of Prosecutor Black was just now. Sounded more to me like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos. It's probably for the best that it sewed right over the director's head. True. Now then, Director Cosmos. I'm yawning. Excuse me. Now then, Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please. I like that he's still on a Segway, even in the courtroom. Detective Arm and I rushed toward the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Taryn lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. I see. So in your testimony you claim you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge. Good idea. B just popped in to wish you luck in your attorney. Aw, thanks, bro. Gosh. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. Sleep well. Have dreams of letters and code and clunkiness, probably. Hopefully. Excuse me, just swallowed water wrong. And just after the victim had been killed. Oh, the horror! The humanity! But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Courageous action to take in the face of such terrifying explosions, wouldn't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger. Risking my own life for theirs. Well, what do you know? Sounds like the director really cares about his men. Yeah, although it sounds more like he was scared and just had to peek from far away. Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm gonna have to press him and draw out more information before I do anything else. Alright, let's save first. What I saw at the scene. With me Krabby Patties. I wonder if that one's not even true. Hold it! Where were you coming from? The 6th floor. We're making sure any stragglers made their way to the 4th. Wait, why was the bomb expert on the 6th floor? It's weird. Also, how did he get down so quickly? Like, the robotic slide was being evacuated when she saw it, and it was at 10 a.m., so... Okay. It was then we heard about Starbuck and Taryn, and hurried to the 3rd floor lounge. Oh my... On my galactic scooter here, of course. Why do you keep calling it galactic? Does that have something to do with space? Of course. Specifically designed to be used on galactic battleships. I see. Then I take it works in 0G, too. Sadly, no. With the current state of technology as it is, I'm afraid it would just float about and be galactically useless. Oh, that's a galactic bummer. I see. So you rushed to the boarding lounge on your space-age pogo stick. And when you got to the scene, what did you see? We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. Let's see. According to this diagram, You didn't have to go through the control room to get to the boarding lounge 1. Looked like you could have gone there from the southern corridor as well. Yes, but in her haste, Detective Arm rushed ahead of me towards the control room. All I could do was merely follow behind her. I see. So we peeked into the boarding lounge from the control room door, and we saw a figure standing there in the middle of the lounge, and Taryn lying on the floor.
Hold it!
So you couldn't see that figure was clearly what they were doing? Sadly, the only thing I could tell was that there was a person standing motionless. The defendant, no doubt, staring aghast at his deed. What other explanation is there? Sorry, excuse me. Stuck in the voice. Hold on. Sorry. Blackquill's voice. The defendant, no doubt, staring aghast at his deed. What other explanation is there? Sorry, I'm getting stuck in the voice that I'm giving the Cosmos guy. I'm so close. Without evidence, I can't prove that person's a third party. I don't relish in this, and I hate to see it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. Aura Blackquill also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge, but she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly? No, not clearly. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area on their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Taryn, but I couldn't see what the other person was. So for all you know, might not have been Mr. Starbuck. Isn't that correct? I don't like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who's capable of murder. When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct? Great Space Center Director. Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Taryn were there by the time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished. You mean they disappeared? That's odd.
Objection!
The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was the defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned consciousness.
Hold it!
Hold on, sorry, 1 second. Hold on. Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off of the scene? Just for a brief instant, but as long as it takes for a shooting star to be by. If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time. What exactly? Sorry, but what escape route could this person if you? Oh God, I'm stuck in the voice. It's like a thing with the way that I curl my tongue, and it's sticking me into it. But what escape route could this person have used? The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been possible to escape that way.
Objection!
Objection. All things are possible, right, Dono? The real question is, do you have any proof? Well, if we're just talking possibilities, we could have each professed whatever we'd like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and lunar researcher used to say that there's a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon. As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it. Oh, look at that Sailor Moon reference. But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists? He's calling your theory a work of fiction, boss. And he's right. I don't need proof yet. Still. The southern door was a possible escape route. Better make a mental note of that. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question? Yes. Why did you look away from the boarding lounge? There's actually another tale of bravery in the answer to that. It was when Detective Arms saw the figure and raised her gun. being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her. What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure? I imagined her instincts as a detective told her they were the killer. I don't know about that. And were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun? I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly, and then she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure. This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony. Okay, we only have 1 bullet wound and everything, though. We'll press first, though. And neither of these 2 shots hit the culprit. That is correct. The detective appears to have missed on purpose. But did she really? There's something about this that bothers me. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, did she? That's the first time that info has come out. Wonder if it's wonder if I can find any inconsistencies. Yeah, there's a giant one. We've only found 1 bullet. A single bullet hole was found in the boarding lounge. The bullet itself is missing. And then here's the bullet, discovered in a gutter. Objection! Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing? You doubt my words! Words that will someday be written down in history books! Somehow, I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history book. Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so that we can all understand? You say that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene. What? Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet, Director Cosmos is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book. Objection! Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. We confirm that 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun. Objection! But there's only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Ugh. You should know the answer to that already. It's in the victim. I mean, well, the killer, rather. I should? During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet that was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38 caliber gun. The same caliber as the detective's gun. I'm sorry, but we have a .10 caliber handgun. You're just making shit up, Blackwell. What? Yeah, that's not true. The rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun. Rifling marks. Like a gun's fingerprints on a bullet, correct? Well, in that case, then what the heck is this one? Also, which bullet goes with this one and which one goes with this? And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from. One of the bullets the detective fired from found its way into the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots. My beautiful contradiction. Gone. All gone. So that bullet hole was from a .38 caliber, huh? I better update the record. Very good. Now that we know the fate of both of the shots Detective Arm fired. Mr. Wright, does that clear up all your questions? No, it doesn't, because I have a bullet that doesn't match. Detective arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear everything up about what happened at the scene? No. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun. But that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a third person. Oh? Very well. But it won't do to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene?
Take that!
And what is this metal pellet supposed to be? Just a little something of a great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor. You found it where? In a floor gutter at the crime scene. Looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a 10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than one of Detective Arm's 38 calibers. That means... Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a gun that could fire 10 caliber bullets. And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. This third person fired Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down to Director Cosmos? It looks like you deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us. What's this now? What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me. Ha ha ha! Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know? Foolish geezer. So Director Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw. You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom you are just another witness. You won't receive special treatment here. Now please, give accurate testimony. What I really saw at the scene. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and tearing on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant? Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered the person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock.
Objection!
Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandled one, and it is you who was cut down. Your reasoning could apply if Space Boy were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired the 10 caliber gun. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person.
Objection!
But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by police. Nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it for them.
Objection!
Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute.
Objection!
But you can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon.
Objection!
It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, naturally. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. Ugh. I did forget all about that, so did I actually. Look, your baldness. How deliciously obvious it is that they lack the evidence to rival mine. Wow, he sliced our third person theory to ribbons and served it to us just like that. Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. That bullet that the mysterious figure shot, what did it hit exactly? hit me. So does this mean you're like a ghost? I was wondering when you would have realized it to your boldness. Director Cosmos is an authentic, bona fide ghost. He can even pass through walls.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackquill, shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman. Your boldness, it was all in jest. Please show yourself again. Are you sure? In that case, how did you manage to survive being shot, Director Cosmos? I'm glad you asked. It was a miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. The bullet hit my glorious Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted, thus saving my life. What? That is kind of impressive. That's unbelievable. I have to check this out. Oh, wow. Look at that. There's one extra Gaxa star. The odds are literally astronomical. Guess it really was a miracle. It's beginning to really feel like the cosmos is watching out for Directive Cosmos. But why did you conceal this information, Directive Cosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. It is the plight of the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand. I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding? Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out. Now then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. I really saw the scene. Take 2. Or is it take 3 at this point? Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. Wait, so we're getting the same thing. Okay, we only have 3 seconds. I guess I'll just press them all of them again. We've already heard all about that part. Don't you have any new information? Well, let me see. If you have an hour or two, I could tell you all about the Hat One Miracle. We already know all about that too. Tell us about something related to this incident. I see. What you know about incidents? Well, then let me tell you about the many incidents that made me the man I am today. Yes. If you have the time, I will tell you all about the upbringing of this great man. You've told us all about that already as well. What we need now is your testimony. Did I really told you all about my upbringing? I don't recall doing so. He did the other day. Directive Cosmos, perhaps you could save your boastful tales for later. If I must. Well, we peeked into the control room and,
Hold it!
It was so dark you couldn't see this figure's face, isn't that right? Yes, the room was as deep and dark as outer space is here. Speaking of outer space, during the Hat One launch 7 years ago. If it's about that Hat One miracle again, you can sod off and tell it to a stray mutt. Haha, excellent idea. No reason why the animal world shouldn't hear my greatness. And so they shall. But first, your testimony. What happened next?
Hold it!
So, in other words, you were fired at while you were at the control room door. That is correct. There's something not quite right about that. Director Cosmos, the bullet this person fired hit you, isn't that right? Yes, it was a miracle. A miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. The bullet the figure hired hit me while I was in the control room. But as the Cosmos would have had it, the bullet bounced off my glorious Medal of Honor. And that case, the bullet should have wound up somewhere around the control room floor. Okay. So, Director Cosmos was in the control room to the east. While he was there, he was shot by someone with a 10 cal. Breathing is hard. So much air is required. He was shot by someone with a 10 caliber gun. But the bullet hit his metal, so he was able to escape with his life. It's a very lucky man. No wonder people think he's great. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky myself. So if he's a great man, then I'm king of all the cosmos. I mean, that doesn't really make sense. Can only be operated by the director. Backup power lets it function even when the power goes out. In a gutter that runs along the south wall of the boarding lounge.
Objection!
Director Cosmos, I believe you are telling this great court a glorious lie. A great man like me to lie. Have you ever heard of such a thing in all history? My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door, and the mystery figure was staying in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, the bullet would have traveled in this direction. However, we found the 10 caliber bullet here. Oh! This trajectory and where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human Mario.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you the bullet hit his metal? Of this, there's no mistake. But in that case, the bullet should have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency? Of course. Sorry. Weird random noises in the hallway. I didn't think so. What? Oh, great Director Cosmos. Yes. Is there something you'd like me to expound upon? You were in fact not in the control room to the east, were you? You were looking into the lounge from the door to the south. Is that not right? Yeah. What are you getting at? Use your own brain. Your head must have some other use than housing that bird's nest. Bird's nest? Why does everyone pick up my hair? Director Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south. That makes some sense, actually, doesn't it? Also, the witness being at the southern door is rather favorable for the prosecution. I've got a bad feeling about this one. How about it, Director? If you don't tell the truth this time. Yes, his handcuffs. You will become but rust upon my sword. I relish the chance to cut down a great man. Oh, all right, I'll tell the truth. Just put your sword away. You are correct. The great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door. What? That's the complete opposite of all the testimonies given so far. And now you have lost your possibility that the third person was in the room. I have. How? The director and the detective were near the southern door. Meaning the killer couldn't have escaped through there. The western door requires print recognition, the corridor beyond almost filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos' fingerprints. In short, there'd be no escape for any third person had there been one. Ugh. My third person just disappeared. Like one of Trucy's magic tricks. Order in the court. Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie? You were covering for the defendant. Isn't that right? Yes. It was all for the love of my men. If I said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean the culprit could have escaped through the southern door. Would have meant that there could have been a third person. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for the third person. What a convoluted lie. Was he really covering for the defendant? Looks like we've come to a conclusion. I don't know about that. With the defense's argument, the possibility of a third person has crumbled. No. It's over. Yikes. The judge is about to hand down its verdict. Think, Phoenix. Think. This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. The third person had no way of escaping the scene. And what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Wait. What if the whole premise is all wrong? Director Cosmos said that he and Detective Arm rushed to the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? And if that person entered the lounge, then they would be the third person. The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. Doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. I will now render my verdict. I'm probably going to get this wrong, so I'm just going to save again.
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor. There's still one possibility. Oh, this had better be good, Mr. Wright. There's one and only one person who could have escaped from the scene. And that person will be the first person who arrived on the scene. Then, upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was accessible only to them. Very well. Let's hear more about this theory. Who is this one person who could escape from the boarding lounge? I mean, we're basically saying it's this guy, right? Because the only person who can open the door onto the east is Yuri Cosmos, right?
Take that!
What? But that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here? Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door, after all. But that means... Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness. Director Yuri Cosmos. What? What? Order in the court, I say. Mr. Wright, you explain yourself in more detail. I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm, and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that, and saw a suspicious figure, who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those 2 warning shots. I've been hit on the starboard side. Captain Wright, it's a direct hit on the enemy ship, sir. Magnificent shot. Warning shots fired from the enemy ship. Prepare to intercept. Cosmos, you've told a lie in this courtroom again. I've been hit on the port side. The enemy has called in reinforcements. The Cosmos Control Center. Requesting permission to ask that you return to reality. But my ship will not go down to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence. But I do have evidence. Do I? I do? In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar. Ugh. If Director Cosmos is the third person Horror Blackwell saw, this third person fired Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with a gun. In return, the director fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos? Looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. You're absolutely correct. Mystery person fired upon us. Director Cosmos must have been the one who fired the 10 caliber gun. When Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark that you receive from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one there in the lounge. Brace for further impact. Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge. What? I mean, are we talking about the lighter? This? No? Oh, okay, never mind. I thought we were gonna be like, oh, like we gotta look at the lighter on his body. Okay. No. Okay. Let's not guess randomly. It sounds like it's supposed to be against his body, right? Against this piece of evidence. Victim's blood. Starbuck's printer off the door. Backup power. Print recognition tests are recorded via security camera. I mean, would it be that? Maybe.
Take that!
Like, is it this? Like, is it a recording? No? I'm missing what they're trying to direct my attention to. Comparison.
Take that!
Sorry. I'm so bad at this. I'm sorry. It's not that late. Why is the brain not working, you know? What am I doing wrong here? Alright, hold on. Let's piece this together. You could say that the battleship bears its scar. Oh, are we saying that the, like, his badges thing is gonna somehow block a 38 caliber? Is that what we're saying?
Take that!
It is. Okay. The 38 caliber bullet found on the floor of the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos' metal. If we have that ricochet mark on the metal analyze, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a 38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you're the third person we've been looking for. The bridge is destroyed. Losing altitude. All hands abandon ship. If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? It was the 10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director? No, you got it all wrong. But the engines have started again. It's a miracle. I'm not going down yet. Witness, stop this at once and confess the truth. If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar, then accept your fate and tell the truth. Are you giving me orders? Me, the great director of the Cosmos Study Center. Get her head, but the cosmos rolls around me. Yeah, someone get me off this thing. Order in the court. Will someone please stop the witness from spinning? Thank goodness we were to stop him from spinning off the face of the earth. While he was twirling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the mark of the metal. It was made by a 38 caliber bullet, matching with the size of Detective Arm's firearm. Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No, you got it all wrong. It's just a misunderstanding. Is he going to start piling on more lies? It looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth. Oh, wow. This one has a lot of to be continueds in it. Director Cosmos. A new possibility has been presented by the defense. They're claiming that you were this third person. Yeah, forgive me. So sorry. So the great prisoner of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous cur. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly? Ugh. The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this. Right, I'll tell you the truth. So, just as you say, Mr. Wright. It's true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I'm afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. They went past the elevators and all the way around to boarding room lounge again. Sorry, boarding lounge bunch. I came up behind Detective Arm and I pretended to be the second on the scene. What a troublesome old man you are. Such convoluted deeds and thoughts. I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am. When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness. Now hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw was you. It wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Mr. Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall. That is an excellent point. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. Said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person. Oh, it makes some sense if he told the lies to cover Mr. Starbucks. Still, a lie's a lie, Athena. So Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit. Where's the proof?
I just remembered. I have an alibi. Miss Blackquill said that she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct?
Yes. And?
Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll corroborate me.
The director is not fibbing to the court, for once. I confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified. So, you're claiming that Miss Blackquill saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m. And that you arrived at the lounge after that?
Yes, and I believe the person I saw is the same person that Miss Blackquill saw. Who was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see their face. But it was definitely the silhouette of an earthling.
Well, as long as he has an alibi. Can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer. No, we can't. And again, we don't need to yet. What if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck? Your Honor, the defense move said the director testified with the person he saw.
Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please.
Excuse me. Sorry. The yawns.
As I tried into the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door, and well, the launch pad 1 door and the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer.
So you were shot at by the killer as well? And then they disappeared?
Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Taryn's oxygen tank. I know because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured.
Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal. That was the Ramos bullet, remember? Right. What a mess this is turning into. So let's see. Also, this doesn't make sense because the we know by the fact that the security camera shows that the tank is at 50 here, that the oxygen tank was ruptured ahead of time, right? So then how did that happen? Like it was ruptured, then it got shot and ruptured again? Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Taryn's killer, the culprit shot a 10 caliber bullet at him. Right, but it actually hit Mr. Taryn's oxygen tank and ruptured it. Then the killer disappeared and the director went into the boarding lounge. When Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him, judging by his medal, it looks like one of them almost took him out, too. Good summary, but that doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. What if the killer's the robot? And that's why they're able to go through the doors or something. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared.
I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was Taryn with a knife in his chest and Starbuck out cold on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene that had no escape route. He vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence!
A riddle of the ages indeed. But I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great. A great man is always misunderstood in his own time, but he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand.
Wow, that might be the first true statement he said all day. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly?
Simple. Because it was Space Boy himself. When he was spotted by the director and Orr, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter evidence. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? No, because it was dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room. That wasn't exactly helpful. I'm prepared to accept your surrender, right, Dono? I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help? Huh? While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord. Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? This might just help us find out what happened to our vanished killer. That'd be great, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him. You got it, boss. Wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a great mind. Yuri Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. What are we, Persona? As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired at me. Surprise, anger, and sadness. Sadness is a little weird there. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they'd vanished into thin air. Why is he not surprised here? I was near the elevator side door. And while the launch pad 1 door and the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. Talk about mixed feelings. Must be trying to account for a number of contradictions. Mr. Wright, maybe this time we shouldn't just look for contradictory emotions. We should also look for emotions that should be there, but aren't. Guess it shouldn't be a surprise that his mind is a convoluted place too. He must have felt very shaken and distressed at the time. Let's focus on the fluctuations in emotions and see what we can uncover. Yeah, so, wait, stop. Why weren't you surprised about this? You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air. Indeed. That kind of thing doesn't happen usually. And yet at that time you barely registered any shock at the occurrence. What? Wait, why are you... I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea where they went. Isn't that right? Oh, no, of course not. That's preposterous. Only I can enter the control room. And the area behind the launch pad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. As for the southern door, I was standing right there. There was nowhere for the killer to run to. Maybe. Or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Tarrant, yes? What if the culprit took that opportunity to silently slip out through the southern door? I highly doubt it. I should recall right after I entered the lounge. Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her. And yet the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use? It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with the testimony. Go get him. Okay, back to the Matrix it is. True killer inside fired a gun. Hid to avoid getting shot. When I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door. And the launch pad door. Sadness? And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. Oh.
something. What? Why are you sad about this? Was the door like busted open or something? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launchpad door.
The right here, Cosmos. Afraid? And what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation?
Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it.
I most certainly not.
Director Cosmos, there's something about the launchpad door you're not telling us, isn't there? Wow, he's speechless. Looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. I'll just input those 2 pieces of data and... Yes, that's what I wanted to see. Presto chango! Less Discord. Looks like we're on the right track. Thanks, Athena. That makes sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launchpad made him uneasy. Only the Prince of Cosmos, Terran, and Starbuck are authorized. It's equipped with backup power. Print recognition attempts are recorded via security camera. And Starbuck's prints were found on the scanner screen after the incident. Are we saying that it really was Starbuck who did this? In other words, he's probably hiding something with the Launchpad 1 door. When you put those pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. They add someone new onto it. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here?
Take that!
The culprit went through the Launchpad 1 door to escape, didn't they?
Yes, I mean, no. Disaster to starboard. We're going to crash into an asteroid.
Master Tactician, you are not. But the area beyond that door is filled with smoke, wasn't it? True. But this is still the only logical answer there is. If we can just figure out what the director is hiding about the Launchpad 1 door, we should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies. Bet you robots can escape through it. I bet you Blackwell's sister somehow did this.
But that door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Tyr, and I have access. I don't see how the killer could open that security lock, do you?
That's an easy one. The killer is right there in the boarding lounge, meaning there's a way he could have easily gotten past that security lock. Come to think of it, we did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device. I propose that the killer used this person's fingerprints to get past the security lock.
Take that!
Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding room lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. Looks like he does have something to hide about the Launchpad 1 door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet.
You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it?
Oh, yes, by all means.
There's a security camera in boarding lounge 1.
Right, the one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor?
If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage as well. Then the mystery would be solved. What do you think of my logic?
I mean, the feed was cut though, right? I hope you didn't strain your faculties too much for that, your boldness.
I beg your pardon.
Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point...
Oh, the footage cuts off.
The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged.
most likely by the after effects of the explosions. There is no footage of this. Read of criminals or space aliens. I thought it was such a good idea, too. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery doesn't mean you should try to show off too much grandpa baldness. Prosecutor Blackquill, how do you know about my grandchild? I think his grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world. Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge? If I must. Sorry I'm yawning so much. I worked decently late today, so. Sorry, drinking water. I had to avoid getting shot. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. But that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. And then the detective shot at me. That seems weird. So you see, the killer could have only escaped to the launch pad, right? What do you think about Director Cosmos' emotional responses, Athena? Actually, my cat's really sick. What? Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. And on top of that, my dog just doesn't seem to want to play with me. Why are you telling me all this now? Just humor me, okay? Now, when you heard about my cat, and then about my dog, which story made you feel sadder? The story about your cat, of course. It's only natural. Exactly. That would be the natural reaction. But there's nothing natural with the director's reactions. Think how each individual reaction changed across the whole testimony would be the key. Sounds unnaturally complicated. That somewhat doesn't surprise me. Okay. When the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. Well, that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. And then the detective shot at me. Why are you sad about that? We're mad about that. And then everything goes away. I feel like it's one of the last two, I think. Maybe. Like, why are you mad about that? Oh, wait, no, this sounds like the wrong thing. Must be an unexpected emotion somewhere. The sadness? Why is he so sad here? No, that's not it. Must be an unexpected emotion. I mean, should he be surprised with this, or shouldn't he be happy about this? Shouldn't he be sad about this?
I'm not sure I followed the cat-dog thing and how that relates to this. My cat is sick. I'm sorry to hear that. On top of that, my dog just doesn't want us to play. I mean, it's like the extreme of which one is which. Hid to avoid getting shot. Went into the lounge. Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. And then the detective shot at me. I mean, I guess there's two, like, I'm being shot at moments.
Got it!
Am I going backwards here?
Got it!
Okay. Director Cosmos, why are you so surprised when the Detective Arm found you and again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and our motions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion. Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you're surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. Pardon me. First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were of course again surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reaction is the fact that you were surprised twice, not surprised by something else, more surprised when Arm came. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you, but the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than by being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. The enemy has acquired a new weapon. Commence operation, hide it under your disc. Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. Not yet. Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean he really is hiding something about that launchpad door. And whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. I wonder what it could be. He was doing something suspicious around that door. Maybe we can spot some change between before he came to the room and after. Detective Fullbright gave us a photo taken out of the crime. Let's run a comparison. Let's see. This is the footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived. And this is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge. Hey, look at that. There is a change. Something's definitely different. Yeah, is it actually? Director Cosmos. What is it? What have you two been up to over there? Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you, that's what. And that answer clearly lies in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation. Don't be ridiculous. If you really do have an answer, you'd have pointed it out already. He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident. Is it like the giant red button? It's horizontal in that picture. Oh, and it's vertical in this one.
Take that!
Is that like the trash compactor or something? The answer is this knob. That is, Your Honor, please take a look at this footage. Let's see. Take a look at the knob next to the launchpad door. As you can see, it's horizontal.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical.
What does that mean?
It means that sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob. After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos. Let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door?
Fine, I admit it. Right, I did turn that knob. That knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there'd be more explosives, so I wanted to move the launch pad away.
You wanted to do what? Hey, didn't Ponko tell us something about how they prepare for launch? She said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. But the safety lock in the boarding lounge had to be disengaged first. Guess that clears up what that knob is for. Oh, so if the killer escaped into the launchpad 1 corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launchpad to the launch site. I don't think so. The launchpad 1 corridor is filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor. So then, where did the killer escape to? Guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, request that you tell us about moving the launchpad in more detail.
Fine, but listen carefully, for I'm about to give a history-making testimony.
He had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. Why is he happy about this? Sorry? I feared there might be more explosions. So I had to cut the launch pad loose. Surely the only escape the killer had was through launchpad 1. Mad. But that area was a sea of smoke. Confound it, where on earth could they have gone? The director seems driven into a corner now. Until he's having a hard time holding his true feelings. Just one final push then. His attempts to conceal the truth shouldn't be all that hard for us to break through. If we keep at it calmly, I'm sure we'll cross the finish line. Why are you happy about this?
Got it!
Like, what is this? Why are you happy? Had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so. And yet when you did it, you felt some joy, as if you were very pleased with yourself.
How do you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there?
Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology. So, care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts we've discovered at this point, I have to believe that you're trying to fulfill some hidden agenda.
How do you know about that, too?
Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing.
You have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. Even if I did, I would never, ever tell you. So there!
I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake.
And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence!
You? A man of integrity. Don't make me laugh. Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden? You spouted nothing but falsities since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatness barefaced liar and honor.
Liar?
Those words bite harder than his blade. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions? My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, just a thought, but modern English can be your friend.
And here's a thought for you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge one side. The police confirmed this on scene. What? Liar! So that means the director didn't move the launch pad? Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content. Liar! But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have been somewhere. We chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. You're sure it must have went somewhere. We just might find out. Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or you're not man enough to, boy. I don't know who's actually older in this case. Talk about hitting below the belt. Youngins these days. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Wait a minute. Maybe I have it all backwards. What if the director turned the knob not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What are you blathering about? What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident? Sorry, I'm rubbing my eye. I have an eyelash stuck in it, and I was doing my best to read whilst that was going on, but it's quite irritating, so give me a minute. What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident? And then after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. All he had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back, and it would be right where the police found it. You made him sigh like Mr. Starbuck. Was what I said really that off base? It pains me to explain how wrong your own logic is to you, however. Our great liar turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge when our Astro Wonders made their escape. A fact that has been recorded for posterity on filmless film. Alright. So to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy. Get a grip, Mr. Wright. Focus. We know the launch pad must have been moved, but our deductions and the actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction to each other. Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake, taking up body doubles after the incident or something. On second thought, that's too far-fetched, even for me. Never actually boarded the rocket. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe. Huh? Did they board the fake one or something? Prosecutor Blackwell, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? And what if when the director moved Launchpad 1 back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? Cut the existential bull, or I'll cut you. That's alright, you explain yourself at once. Alright, it's all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor, let me explain. Director Cosmos' reason for moving Launchpad 1 was to hide it, to switch it with another place to trap the true killer. Was he trying to trap them? So I'm thinking, do we have a picture of this? Wait, hold on. Where is it? Is it in here? Are we saying that they were in the Space Museum? How does this thing work? Maybe he was trying to trap the true killer? Would that make any sense? Like if he moves it around, does it like detach it or something? Excuse me. Because he wanted to switch it with some other place. I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? But what could he possibly switch the launch pad with? Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box, and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what was switched with Launchpad 1. I assume
Take that!
it's this. Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2. It also has all the same features as Launchpad 1 and can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning the Space Museum and Launchpad 1 can also be switched with each other. You can't mean. The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in Launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum. What? Boulder Dash. Are we saying that Arm was the killer? And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and every inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident. I see Launchpad 1 in the museum has already switched spaces. That's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from boarding Launch 1. This allowed the true killer to enter Launchpad 1 from boarding Launch 2 and set the bomb on the rocket. Come to think of it, the door to the Space Museum from boarding Launch 2. Welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There's no fingerprint recognition system on that door. In other words, if the two launch pads switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into the boarding Launch 1 and waited there concealed in order to kill Mr. Taryn when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. Recall that Miss Blackwell, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure. We can suppose, after killing Mr. Taryn, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway. Right then, I see you know how to handle a sword and handle it well. Perhaps I should call you Swords Master Bluff. I'm a seasoned warrior who has cut down many prosecutors. But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword. How do we prove this? That's right. You have no proof I switched the launch pads. Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. If the launch pads really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere. At this point, Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other. So the corridor beyond the door should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Let's see. This is an image of the Launchpad 1 corridor. Okay. Do you see anything different when we compare to the security footage? Huh? That number on the floor. Also, I've been getting massive deja vu for like 20 minutes on this case for some reason. The one. What do you know? Looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackquill. And if this is just another bluff. Oh, don't worry. It's all right here. Right in this footage. Proof that beyond this door is the corridor of the Space Museum. Very well then. Answer this for me if you would. What in this footage proves that the corridor belongs to the Space Museum? This tube right there.
Take that!
There's a 1 on the floor of the Launchpad 1 corridor.
But take a look at the floor of the corridor and the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2.
What?
Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is the one to the Space Museum.
Yeah.
And so that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke. That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1, on the side opposite the Space Museum. And now that we know that the 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Terran, carrying Mr. Starbuck, simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level.
That's incredible. The 2 launch pads were actually switched. You would think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude.
Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. Bye. No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth.
My honor, my glory, everything is slipping away. And for my ultimate weapon, galactic engine, ignition. It's one haywire. 5 volts sharp. Yeah. My stars, my glory. Not that way.
Wow. All right. Well, he's. Well, that's not perjury. What is he committing right now? I mean, he's committed a lot of perjury, but still.
Bailiff, on your steed and after that witness. I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm.
Director Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads?
I admit it's true. I switched Launchpad 1 with the Space Museum. It's good to hear words I can believe for a change.
Before you do, Your Honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Terran had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Terran would have realized the instant he stepped into the Space Museum. It had been switched with Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Terran feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with.
Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say, my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast.
The director is terrified. That's one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Probably not a good time to try to pry it out of him, huh?
Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing. Oh, I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his stars. It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say?
I don't get it.
Don't get it? What don't you get?
Director, why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you? You tricked us. Mr. Starbuck.
Starbuck, my boy. I'm sorry. Can't tell you the reason why. But I had to do it to protect the Space Center.
Director, will I ever get the chance to go into space again?
Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy.
Then the dream is still alive.
Silence!
You're not going into space, Starbuck, but prison. I won't have it any other way.
Why is he so hung up on him?
Yes, I accept that the launch pads really were switched. And if there were a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I have yet to see proof of this third person escape via the Space Museum. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's right. I don't have any proof.
Starbuck, you will spill everything you know.
What? Me?
Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now. If you don't, my blade shall feast upon your blood.
I'm gonna die. I want to die in space. To do something.
Solomon Starbuck, prepare yourself. Thank you, Fullbright.
Now, you know violence isn't the answer, Professor Blackquill. Sorry, Prosecutor Blackquill.
An annoyingly cheerful laugh. Be none other than...
Champion of righteousness, Bobby Fullbright here. In justice we trust. Detective Fullbright. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. Hope I'm not too late. Don't believe we had an appointment. I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady across the street. And then I had to break up a cat fight. I tell you, justice sure is a full-time job. Was the fight between cats, or... Why are you here again? Because the defendant isn't the culprit, and I came to make sure that justice is served. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Fullbright. I always thought you were a bit touched in the head.
But have you finally succumbed? Man, Blackquill is no chill. Nope, but it looks like you've succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment.
What evidence?
Come to think of it, he did say something about finding us some evidence. Thanks, you too. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get out of my chest. I'm gonna work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you. I didn't think he was serious, though. What is it, detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent? It is indeed. Have a look at this. What's this?
A lighter?
That's right. A lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. As the victim played Terran's blood, along with his killer's fingerprints on it. What? Whose fingerprints, though?
Order! Order! Detective Fullbright, can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant?
You bet! Mr. Starbucks is totally innocent. This is it. Just what I needed. Your Honor, this is decisive evidence that supports the defense's earlier claim.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where this lighter was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Mr. Terran, they escaped with lighter in hand in the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. Then finally, the killer left through the boarding lounge 2 and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder. A fact that Director Cosmos has testified to. Therefore,
Mr. Starbuck couldn't possibly have been the one to drop the lighter there. But the defendant had free reign of the area until Director Cosmos appeared. Would he not have dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during that same time? You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with the lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have had time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, this lighter could have only been dropped by the real killer. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit. This does indeed appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claims. As to the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. No, there must be some mistake. Frankly, Prosecutor Blackquill, I've been worried about you. I've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency because tomorrow...
Silence.
Is that a statute of limitations on the case or something? Fullbright, you promised never to speak of that. Tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent, in light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime. A few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, not guilty. Damn. So we don't know who did it, but we got them not guilty. But who really did it, though? We don't want to know? Yes, we did it, Mr. Wright. Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? Some help from Detective Fullbright. Mr. Wright, Mr. Sanks, thank you. Sorry, Miss Sykes. Please thank Apollo for me, too. You all are the best. I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now. Yeah, me too. But that's going to have to wait. Now that a verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
Objection!
It's too late to object, isn't it? It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong. Prosecutor Blackwell, are you dissatisfied with the verdict? Fullbright, what were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter? The results? Well, I was in a hurry, you see, and then there was that cat fight, and, well, I kind of got carried away when I heard the prints weren't Mr. Starbuck's, so you have yet to read it. Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prints belong to? Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena Sykes. So says the report. What? What? Huh? Me? Oh, order, I say. Order. Miss Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that this lighter could only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion. I don't know how they got on there, but I know I'm not the culprit. This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece. I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So how could it have led to this? What have I done? Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Yeah, but she has an alibi, doesn't she? Order. Order. Detective Fullbright, stop your crying. What the world's happening here? The world's gone mad. Order. I will have order.
Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we'd fought for, the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of crime. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. It stumbled over the edge of reason into the jaws of a twisted darkness. End. What a way to end it. Alright, well, we have saved. Turnabout for tomorrow. Well, I'm going to stop it there. So, tune in next time for when we dig in. Do you think she has like an evil twin or something? Just like, what even? We are going into the last one though, so all things will somehow become clear, I guess. So we'll get to it. But thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you all enjoyed. Sorry, it took me a little bit to figure out what voice exactly to to give the Yuri Cosmos guy, but it all worked out eventually, so it's fine. But I'll see you tomorrow probably for some more Xenoblade Chronicles X, and then Thursday most likely we'll pick this back up. So thanks for hanging out, and I will catch you later. Bye for now, everyone.